Let me put this link in. Very interesting. So if you're excited or not so excited about long COVID, I guess you should not be excited. But it's a very interesting map about frequency of long COVID. I want to draw your attention to particularities. That is, we don't talk about politics in this event, right? But look at the prevalence of long COVID in terms of the states. So the more conservative the state, the higher the prevalence. That's basically it. So in short, this is a kind of a follow-up of our conversation from some weeks ago, where upwards of about 10% of America has long COVID. I mean, if anybody's interested in this, I don't know if I have time to post the JAMA article from a couple of months ago, pointing at 7.7%, but actually prevalence is rising slowly but steadily. And the areas where people tend to probably, I would say, have a less healthy lifestyle tend to have much higher rates. I mean, surprise, surprise, right? You would expect that, but nonetheless, I think you can look at this for yourself and then make some conclusions. In our own backyard, West Virginia is pretty in terrible shape. That frequency is much, much higher. It's over 10% of adult population, versus Maryland has one of the lowest frequencies. So that's regarding long COVID. By the way, you know the drill. If you have questions, put them in the chat. If you, for some reason, can't chat, make sure you raise your hand and we'll let you ask your question. So that's one topic. The other topic, I want to highlight some of the upcoming events. I think it's okay to highlight for this group. So those of you who are interested in world of cannabis, here's the event that's going to happen on campus on December 10th. It's actually open to everybody. It is sort of prioritized to GW enterprise students, faculty, and staff, but you can more than welcome to register. It's a free registration. It's an in-person event. It's sponsored by GW, and it's ran by, it's going to be a panel, which I will be joining, talking about the medical side of cannabis, but the panel is going to be led by GW lead on regulatory affairs, director of GW regulatory affairs, and it's going to be joined by, I will be joined by professors of ethics and also a business person who's a graduate from GW, who's a major investment in some of the cannabis industry. So it's going to be a pretty interesting conversation. We may be seeing a very interesting shift in legalization of cannabis and psychedelics under new administration. May come to surprise to you, but it's actually that's what will happen. Particularly psychedelics probably going to be legalized rapidly. RFK made a very strong statement that it's a first priority for him, and so is the cannabis. So there will be, I'm not sure how he will convince Trump about that, but Trump was not interested in this topic last time he was in the White House, but apparently he is this time. So I do think that it's a very timely that this topic is going to be discussed, because legalization is coming in the next term, presidential term, for sure, for both, for the cannabis and for the psychedelics. It's not clear which psychedelics we're talking about. I think there's going to be a lot of really interesting conversations, and I'm sure there's going to be a tremendous opposition for medical field, but I expect that all of that opposition is going to be put aside due to who's going to be in the White House. So with that, I see questions are coming, and that's actually all I have in terms of updates. I'd rather give more time to Julie to talk to. She has something very interesting prepared for us. Okay, so Cecile saying, past the magazine stand this week, where MG plant is on the cover of National Geographic. That is right. I've seen that too. Pretty interesting. Okay, can you repeat the benefit of your protocol? Okay, will it reduce the chance of serious? We don't know if it will, but it's definitely significantly decreases chance of immediate inflammatory reaction. Particularly what I'm talking about is if you're allergic to, or if you had a lot of histamine-induced reactions, so those could be phlegm, cough, nasal sneezing, things like this. So definitely the antihistaminergic protocol can do that. I guess, Randall, do you actually want to see the products and the precise protocol? It's not going to be easy for me copy pasted here. I would prefer those of you who actually, I don't know, maybe I can do that. It's a four product.
Misha, how about you just send me the information and I'll share it with them?
Is that okay? Because there are specific products. What do you think?
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess.
fine with that.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Yeah, but so it's a combination of 3 homeopathics with something whole natural dehist. Natural dehist, I'll write this here. It's a orthomolecular product, and the dose for this one for the last is 2 capsules 3 times per day. Start 24 hours before and 24 hours after vaccine. Any vaccine. So. And you can even just do that. If for whatever reason you don't necessarily believe in homeopathy, it's not necessarily that everyone buys that in, then you can do this. This is a natural product that has stinging nettle, quercetin, a little bit of vitamin C, and a couple other things. I think a small dose of N-acetylcysteine. It's very good to sort of decrease histaminergic reaction, which is at the core of some of the common side effects. Guillain-Barré is kind of uncommon, and I don't know if I can guarantee you that this protocol will block this. It's a very unique autoimmune response. I don't know if it's mediated by the histamine. Just going to say that. Yep. Yeah, so we're keeping eye on bird flu. No, you don't need to be worried just yet. I will be telling you if you do, but no. And by the way, also those of you who Marburg virus, we don't need to worry about. It seems to be contained. So, and both of those, especially Marburg virus, that was really scary because mortality is 80% with support. Without support, it's 95%. So thank God that got arrested at the first 7 cases. Everybody died, by the way, all 7 people. But it doesn't seem to moved on. So they contained it right away, thank God. All right, any other questions? All right, well, that's good. Oh, okay. Yes, so the protocol does reduce significantly chances of anaphylactic reaction. I can say that with certainty, and any allergic and in all allergic reactions. The thing is, though, anaphylactic reactions are quite uncommon to the vaccines. They're just as uncommon as Guillain-Barré. But we actually have someone here, I'm not going to obviously name this person, who had a near anaphylactic reaction to the vaccine. And, unfortunately, some of us are that sensitive. And, of course, I'm not sure I would tell someone who had an anaphylactic reaction to any vaccine to try this protocol and then take the vaccine. I think that would not be a good idea, right? Because of course, I can't tell you for certain that this protocol will be effectively blocking the anaphylactic reaction. So if you had any history of that, you should not take that vaccine for sure. Just period, and no discussion, with or without any treatment. The reason is that any treatment of anaphylactic reaction will always be partial, and there's always risk that the treatment will fail. And it's a situation where the harm dramatically overweights any possible benefit from this vaccine, particularly with COVID, right? Since we pretty much know that very few people at this point dying from COVID, and most of us, actually all of us here, I'm sure, have some partial immunity. So I think the risk is exceedingly small, versus an anaphylactic reaction mortality can be approaching 10-15%. So there's just no justification here. And 10-15%, I'm talking about with treatment. Without treatment, death is more than 50%. So, this is not something you will be considering to do. That's for sure. It's an interesting question. Okay, so this is still asking a question in private, but I think it's okay for me to read that. Do you have anything official to point to talk up pneumonia vaccine? Is not priority for anyone I know, and they don't remember. I disagree. I actually like pneumonia vaccines. I like them for people at the higher risk for complications from any acute serious illness. Pneumonias could be deadly. It's an old style vaccine. It's relatively safe vaccine. It's only one time. There are currently two types of vaccines that are common. There's PCV20 and then PSVS23. So the first vaccine is more common. Second vaccine is often given to people who've had prior vaccine. You only get it once. You don't have to repeat them. If you never had one, you can just get PCV20 in any pharmacy. They are not mRNA vaccines. They're old style DNA vaccines, which generally have a lot lower risk of any autoimmunity or any sort of severe reaction associated with them. I would consider this vaccine for everyone over 50 with a history of any pulmonary problems, asthma, COPD, anything that's severe enough that you need to periodically take medications to control the symptoms. You should consider this vaccine seriously. So, okay. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, and you can get this vaccine anywhere. It doesn't really matter whether you go to your doctor's office or get it from pharmacy. I think these are not any, they're not unique, so it doesn't really matter. You just get it once. They may change that, so sometimes they come up with the recommendations years later to say, look, we have an updated vaccine, now we may recommend for people to get it again. That has to do with the gradual accumulation of mutations in organisms. But for now, the current recommendation, you just get this shot once. That's it. And again, if you had an older vaccine, something like there's a PCV13, for example, so it may be a good idea to get another one, but only if it's been 5 years or more. So if you had some other vaccine, say 2 years ago, it's possible. It's not likely, but it's possible. Then I think you should just wait for at least a few more years before you consider getting one of those. And it probably would be best for you to talk to your provider, to your primary care doctor. That's a great question. So everybody take a look at the else question. I still haven't gotten COVID, and I still hear stories of people who recently get COVID after years of not getting it. At this point, are we immune or just lucky? I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that. You may be immune, you may be lucky, you may be both. There are definitely small percent of people who are naturally immune. There's been data on that. That percent is less than 1% of population. So you could be in that category, or you could just be a very lucky, or, luck is a made up word. Like you actually probably doing something that make you lucky, right? So maybe you're avoiding big groups, maybe you correctly using masking, etc. Or maybe it's a combination of all kinds of factors. So. All right, let's take one more question and move on to Julie's part. Medicare only covers tetanus shots as treatment. No, that's not true. Medicare covers every tetanus vaccine. That is 100% certain. I just prescribed this and it was covered to one of my patients this Tuesday. It covered it, correct. So if you don't have Part B, but it's the same part that covers all medications. So I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's true.
Really? So how come you don't have Part B? I mean, do you have to have something else then?
Part B will not cover it unless you've been hurt and you need it for treatment. Part B will not cover it as recommended.
No, that's completely wrong. I can guarantee you that. I mean, I'm in practice every day. I've never seen this issue come up. the thousands of my patients been getting tetanus shot. It's every 10 years. And it's usually given in combination with a DAP. And I've never heard in Medicare not covering this shot. It's one of the cornerstones of prevention of serious issues.
Only Part D will cover it, not Part B.
Yeah, that may be. I don't know which part covers. So why is it that you don't have Part D Medicare?
Part D is for prescriptions and it only covers it at a pharmacy. So if you get it at a physician's office and they don't know, if you don't know and they don't know that it's only covered at a pharmacy, then it's not covered.
Most of the physician offices have pharmacy privileges. GW does. So GW has pharmacy in the basement and they usually just bring the shot from the pharmacy and it's a standard coverage.
Well, the doctor just gave it to me in her office, had her nurse give it to me. Not covered.
You should appeal this. And why is it that you don't have Part D? I mean, I would expect you then have some.
Part D only covers it at a pharmacy, not if you get it at your doctor's office.
No, I understand, but physicians have a right to claim pharmacy in their office. Almost 90% of physicians have pharmacy in their office for legal reasons. I mean, we have it at CIM, GW has it.
This is a MedStar clinic.
That is highly surprising, and you should fight this. I can guarantee you that there should be no charge for you. Medicare covers all preventive care at 100%, regardless of the point of administration.
It's not true.
Somebody just wrote that it's covered for them. So I don't know. I don't think I can clarify this further, but I would strongly recommend for you fighting this charge. So, because the Medicare covers all the standard recommended, tetanus is a standard recommended vaccine. It's a part of the standard preventive care. So.
I read their protocol. I read the actual Medicare material. Only covered if you have an injury, Part B. Not covered for prevention.
No, tetanus.
And I read the actual words, the actual. I don't
want to. I'm gonna have to interrupt this back and forth because I want to put you. No, it's okay. But I think you and Dr. Kogan can continue the discussion privately. Okay. All right. Hey, Julie. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We're always happy to have you with us. Let's talk nutrition.
All right. Remind me, how long do I have? I want to be respectful of where I'm supposed to end.
You have 15 minutes.
Okay, from now. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we are coming up on the official holiday season, which seems to go for a long time, and it can be a really tricky time if you're trying to be mindful of what you eat and think about your health goals and kind of keep moving forward in a positive direction. So Misha and I thought, well, let's chat about that because I personally am thinking about how I'm going to navigate. So I imagine some of you are as well. It sounds like we're a chatty group, which is great. I was hoping for that because what I would love to hear is your thoughts on things this time of year that feel challenging for you around your food choices or your family traditions around food, things that are on your mind in terms of needing a strategy to kind of navigate in a way that feels good and allows you to stay connected to your health goals and yet find that balance with enjoying the moment, enjoying fellowship with your friends and family. I was just reading, there's another research article out of Yale that is talking about the impact of social interactions on your gut microbiome. And I'm sure you guys are well versed in the importance of your microbiome and how, that's really the seat of health. And so for me, it's important when we think about food and one of the roles of food, which, I don't discount at all is like, how does it bring you together with your celebrations and your family and friends? So I think that's what I would love to hear from you guys on today. I have a couple of things on my mind, which maybe will help trigger your thoughts, but also feel free to pop things in the chat or raise your hand and we'll unmute you if you'd like to uh, just speak out loud. That's also great too. But when I was thinking about this topic, I kind of thought about it in these two different categories. And one is somewhat around sort of the stress, the hustle bustle piece of creating those fun celebrations that center around food. And sort of for me, you know, thinking about how can I get all of the extra stuff done amongst the busyness of my current life and, you know, not kind of suffer from that. There were many years where by the time our Christmas Eve holiday came around, I had worn myself down and was literally sick in bed. So, you know, we have to get through this with grace, and sometimes a strategy around that can be helpful. And then the other key piece I thought about was maybe the more obvious, which is overindulging. And, you know, I'm always trying to manage my sweet tooth. I had that since I was basically since I could remember. So, you know, it's easy for me to really enjoy the sweets and not really have a built-in mechanism for turning that off. So that's another area that I kind of think about in terms of navigating this time of year when there seems to be sweets literally everywhere you turn to look, or other, you know, decadent indulgences. So thinking about those two, I will take a little peek here at we're still talking a lot about Medicare. Okay, Mark, let's see. Oh, yes, this is a good one. So Mark says, when family members don't pay attention to nutrition and chide us for trying to eat healthy. Yes, 100%. And I wonder, you know, what people think about strategies for that. I think the thing that comes to mind for me is to start with just sort of naming that and, you know, to the extent that your family relationships allow, I always love to bring humor into it. But I think that's an important pattern that can really, really create a barrier to being able to take care of yourself. And sometimes, you know, naming that and speaking about that from your own personal truth can be really powerful, and kind of, you know, if you can present it in a way that is lighthearted, I think it can help start to shift that pattern. I think for a lot of people, you know, they do what they have always done or what they know, and sometimes it can be really interesting to be, even if it's not in that moment, somebody who's, you know, starting to help them shift their perspective on that. Because I think when you think about it, it really does not make sense, like that someone else should be kind of weighing in on your food choices in that way. So, Mark, I don't know what you think, if you have other ideas or if you've tried anything in the past that you would like to share, but this is a fabulous place to start, because I think it really highlights somewhat of the social, you know, radical movement that taking care of yourself and eating well is in this country. And I think the identity of people being very much tied into food choices and how that shows up in different ways across these holidays that we have coming up. So thank you for that. Let me see. All right. So I think the other piece that I would say that can help bring some clarity into the social aspect of sharing food is to bring things into traditions that new things that you found or new taste profiles that you've been enjoying, and maybe present them in a way that diffuses some of that tension around healthy or unhealthy, because I think maybe some people might feel implied judgment from that perspective, and kind of shifting that perspective 90 degrees and talking about what you like to eat more, and how it makes you feel. Like, it makes you feel better. It helps you be able to exercise more because your joints don't hurt, or the congestion that you get from certain foods like dairy. You can just think about the specifics and kind of promote those and steer away from more of the hot button issue of good foods and bad foods. And I found that to be helpful as well. You say, well, I just feel a lot better when I eat this type of food. And I wanted to share it with you because I think you'll think it's really good and tasty, and kind of shifting the energy that way. Okay. So Jada is talking about that there's some vegetables not good to eat. Wow. Okay. That is definitely, it seems like that should be a straightforward answer. And I'll just tell you what I think about that. There's a lot of discussion in the popular media about vegetables and making some good and some not good. I think there, for some people, depending on their health conditions, there can be some vegetables that trigger symptoms. One example would be the nightshades. That's the most common one that I see. There's something about the nightshades, which include potatoes, tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplant, paprika, acai, and it's a group of plants that, if you look in the research, have fantastic research supporting them for being anti-inflammatory and very health promoting, high in antioxidants, all of that. However, for some people, and depending on their health journey, they can really trigger inflammation, and I see it a lot in terms of arthritis. And so that's a good example where you're not gonna, when you look at research, tomatoes, cooked tomatoes, high in lycopene, fabulous. The beautiful purple of an eggplant, there's a lot of support for that. But, you may be one person who gets triggered when you eat potatoes or something like that. So outside of those particular health interactions, putting those aside, because I feel like that fits more into sort of therapeutic nutrition. And what I think a lot of people need more of is just good basic nutrition, reducing food chemicals and colors and preservatives, and reducing the processed foods, and getting just more into vegetables, any vegetable, and fruits, and beautiful colors. And that's where when we look at prospective population-based studies around diet, you can see that the Mediterranean pattern of eating, and there's lots of variations on that, but hands down, that ticks off the boxes in terms of reducing risk of dementia, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, you name it, any of those inflammatory diseases, cancer, you are going to see the Mediterranean style dietary pattern associated with that. And that is built on plant foods, vegetables, and there isn't any vegetable from that perspective that has been deemed not good. So I think when you think about that question, you need to think about where you're at. And, for the most part, I'll take any vegetable for people, but we'll start there. We'll just start with making sure some vegetables are getting on your plate every time you eat. All right. Thank you for that question. That was really, really interesting, and I hope that was helpful. Okay, here's somebody after my own challenge with sweets here. Challenging to keep sweets to small limits. Yeah. So can get to the point where, overeating and sugar cravings and sort of the downstream impact of sweets can really hit. And if you're one of those people, we need to have a strategy around it. Otherwise, it can be a really hard cycle to break. It can be broken, but mostly it requires like 100%, being very, very strict with not eating sugar for a couple of weeks to kind of get out of the cycle. So this is where I think food is really good at helping us learn about ourselves and helping us understand our health journey in a way that allows us to hopefully set ourselves up for success, right? So the first thing we need to do in this situation, which I have done, and I invite anyone else to, is just know that you are not somebody who can moderate sweets in a way that is reasonable. And that's okay, right? What are you going to do because you know that about yourself so that either you find a middle path that works, or you decide that they're, for right now, it's not going to be part of your celebrations. So one of the things that I've done and that I encourage you to do is think about the research around if you can see things or if they are close to you, you're more likely to eat them, right? So how can you create some boundaries around access to these things? Sometimes people will go, and if they want, to celebrate with sweets, they'll go and get the number of cupcakes that are required for the number of people and then not have leftovers. Sending things, keeping them out of the house can be really helpful. So I think this is a really good place to kind of come up with a plan, a strategy that you think will work. It may or may not work, but it's a place to start and see how it goes. And then, you just continue to learn what's effective. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of people, and there should be no shame around it, that you just can't moderate the sweets because of how it impacts your brain chemistry, and that it just needs to be something that's not showing up in your home or, on your plate. So in life, it's so interesting when you take sugar out, like how sweet a carrot can taste. So we adjust. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it can be hard if some of the food restrictions that you found that help you feel better, it can sometimes get in a way of being able to go out to dinner, either at someone's house or to a restaurant. And I think that that's a opportunity to find other ways to socialize that don't involve food, right? And it could be, going for a walk. It could be playing pickleball. It could be seeing a movie. You know, it maybe calls for you to get creative and try to diffuse that by working on ways outside of sitting down to share a meal. Maybe just share a cup of tea, right? Okay. How many people are still advocating for a raw diet? Yeah. So, you know, there's all sorts of dietary trends and fads. And, you know, for me, what I think based on my practice, my review of the research, I think for most people, food can be a lot more straightforward than some of the complicated diets would have you believe. And I think that there is a subset of people that may be sensitive to certain food constituents like lectins and oxalates. And again, you know, that would be, in my mind, more of a therapeutic diet that asks for some underlying healing to take place so that those are food constituents that can be tolerated. So that is my perspective. I've had a lot of people try a low lectin approach and not really noticed any difference. And I think there is harm in some of these exclusions because once people take or think about a food in a negative way, it can be hard for them to reintroduce it without feeling either nervous or, you know, some reservation. So then you end up with people that, whether they realize it or not, have, you know, kind of restricted food. And if you look, there's probably no food that hasn't been demonized by some fad diet, you know, at some point. And so a lot of times what I'm trying to do for people is expand what they're eating because they've followed different diets to try to feel better, and then they've gotten down to just eating a lot of the same foods. And we know that the diversity of foods is an important hallmark of dietary patterns that are going to be promoting health as you age. And so I think we need to balance that when we think about some of the food constituent diets that are out there. Okay. Yeah. Cooking things. This is a great day to talk about eating raw food versus cooked food. And it's this very fundamental concept in a lot of traditional cooking, is sort of aligning your, not just the types of foods, like, so, you know, there's benefit to eating seasonally that gives you food that's tastier, that actually has higher nutrient value, and also kind of helps your body align with the seasons and the what's happening in the world around you and the earth, because our nervous system is very attuned to the light and dark cycle. And we have this really, even though we've isolated ourselves from the outdoors and insulated us from feeling anything but 70 degrees all year round, our body's not quite on board with that. And so food is one way that we can remind ourselves and help our nervous system feel connected to that important stimulation, which comes from, you know, the great outdoors. So I agree. I've even literally taken salad, because I think that's just an easy thing for lunch, mixed greens, right? And just put it on the stove and cooked it a bit, and it still tastes delicious. So you basically take everything you'd put in a salad and cook it, and it's still pretty tasty. So, all right. Let me think. There's a couple of other things. Oh, just little tips that I was thinking about as we go into this holiday season. One of the things that can be helpful, I don't know if anyone is doing just nightly intermittent fasts. I don't think we need to be super extreme with this for the most part. If you can get 12, 13, 14 hours between dinner and breakfast next day, that can really help your body kind of do the deep cleaning that helps you feel good. So that can be something that you may want to prioritize when you find yourself, going to social events or hosting frequently in the next several weeks. Thinking about starting your meal with veggies and protein, because the fiber and the protein are both very good at triggering our satiety hormones. And that can be a way to help you feel satiated from dinner, and then hopefully moderate anything that comes after that might be more indulgent. Thinking about your plate size. So smaller plate will have a big impact on your satiety as well. So take a small plate and make it look full. And that sends a really nice nourishment message and helps those hormones kick in to say, yeah, I probably have had enough food, enough calories. I think avoiding seconds is also an easy one. Our mechanism with knowing how many calories we need and how many calories we've just eaten is not very reliable. It's not very good. And for some people, it's really, really not good. And so kind of putting those more false boundaries can be helpful sometimes. So a smaller plate or a smaller glass will help you enjoy what you're eating and then know just that you've had enough. And then, oh yes, thinking twice about liquid calories. So those are definitely circumventing your satiety hormones. So anytime we're drinking calories, that can be really hard for us to know in any way. So, looking at soda water and lime and water and things like that, herbal teas, those are good options just to avoid some of that. All right, so one last, somebody was agreeing with the 12 to 14 hours. It's not too crazy. And the last one, yeah. Foods that either go bad or expire before you can eat them. Yeah, that can be really tricky. And, sometimes environmentally buying single serve containers can be a mixed bag. It can help foods last longer if they're in smaller serving sizes, but then, sometimes I feel bad about the food waste as well. All right. Well, I think you guys have been great. I love your contributions. Hopefully, I've provided some food for thought, and I encourage you to think through things and continue to get know yourself through your eating patterns and thoughts around it.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, thank you, guys.
I think we're going to have you back in the first quarter next year.
All right, I got to keep track of Misha, so I want to follow the thread on this endurance activity. He's inspiring me. I gotta get something on the
And I have to tell you about my nutrition plan for it, but that's later.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hey, Dr. Elva Anderson.
Hello, hello. Thank you, guys.
Let's laugh.
Wow, we really do. We need to laugh. Yes, we do. And there are so many benefits to laughter. As you all know, it improves our mood because it can really change that mood by releasing the endorphins inside of us, and it makes us feel good and cheerful, especially this time of year, right? We want to feel really good. It reduces stress. How many of us want to reduce stress? I think we all want to reduce our stress. as well as anxiety by taking our minds off of our daily stressors. In addition, it also improves our cardiac health. Yes, our hearts. Oh, and the oxygen levels that we bring in. So we want to improve the blood flow, the vessels, the way it functions and circulate in our body. And this can help maintain a healthy blood pressure, especially after hearing there's certain foods we can eat and certain foods we can't eat. And what do we do? Oh my goodness. Also, you know, we want to reduce pain. Some of us are maybe feeling physical pain or even mental pain. So we want to laugh so we can alleviate the physical, mental, emotional pain that it reduce that tension and help keeps us calm, right? We want to enhance our creativity. Yes, we want to be creative and laugh, bring out more, release and stimulate that right brain with creativity, boost our immune system. We're talking about different things from flu to pneumonia, COVID, I mean, bird flu, so much is going on. So we want to really boost our immune system by laughing more, by smiling more, and it improves our well-being. We want to have a greater sense of our well-being, feeling good about ourselves, as well as it improves our connections with each other. Look at my new friends out here, my new laughter yoga friends that I have on this page right here, this format. You all want to laugh, we're going to get some laughter there. And guess what the main thing is? You guys want to know what the main thing is? It's free. It costs nada. No insurance companies, nothing. It is free. You can laugh as much as you want. You can prescribe it for yourself. Write yourself a prescription right now. Each of you take a pen out, get a piece of paper and says, I am going to laugh, and call yourself your own doctor for that. You know, it's self-administered. So go ahead, you guys. You can use it anytime, laughter. And guess what? There's no adverse side effects to laughter. So we're going to do some laughter. But before we laugh, I want to tell you guys, this was something I thought about, looked about, and heard about it, and said, oh, you know what? I'm going to share on this platform. Proverbs 17:22 says, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Can we all go, All right, on the count of three, 1, 2, 3. You can take your mics off so I can hear you. The more I hear, the more I'm more likely to respond to even giving more. So let's say that again. Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bone. 1, 2, 3. See, that makes me laugh. Here you guys go. Let's put some neck in there, okay? Yes, yes, yes. So, you know, we're going to do a smile meditation. And so the smile meditation is going to be that we smile and breathe in through our nose. Let's just smile, everybody. Just smile. Even if you want to do like this, you can smile. Even if you don't feel like smiling, take a pen, pencil, and go, okay? So smile and breathe in through the nose. And then when you exhale, I want you to go, ha, 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 ha. Okay, let's do this 5 times. Smile and breathe in through the nose. And then you exhale through the mouth and go, ha, 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 ha. Okay, that's 2 times. Again. And did you know saying, ha, 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 it's exercising the diaphragm, and it gives us a feeling that we are laughing. So let's do that again. Smile and breathe in through the nose. And then exhale. Yes, there you go. One more time. Smile in and breathe through the nose. And exhale through the mouth and saying, ha, ha, ha. Yes, yes. And there we go to very good, yay. You guys remember that? Very good, yay. So every time we do something, an exercise part, we're going to go very good, yay. So let's start off by doing a hug to ourselves, okay? Let's just hug ourselves and just love yourself so much. Maybe you didn't get a hug today. Maybe you didn't get a hug yesterday. Maybe you didn't get a hug this week or even this month or this year. So just hug yourself and just go, ooh, wee. Everybody on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, wee. I see some of you all are not hugging yourselves. Hug yourself, hug yourself. Yes, you just love yourself. You only one you, so just love on yourself. Okay, so after we did that, hug ourselves, then we're gonna guess what? We're gonna rub on some love cream. Get your little jar out, imaginations. Use your imagination that you have a jar in your hand, and you're gonna use your right hand, left hand, whatever dominant hand you want, and you're going to rub on some of this cream and laugh. This is the laughter cream. Ooh, look at you guys. Yes. Ooh, rub it on. Even on top of your head if you want in your hair. Just rub this cream in. Ooh. Now let me hear your laugh now. This cream feels so good. Ooh, on my arms, on my neck, on the back of my neck. Oh, you guys laughing? Are you smiling? You gotta get some laughter in there. You could be rubbing the cream, going, "Yeah, whatever." But put some laughter in there. Yes, this is some cream that you're putting on for the weekend. Like you putting your makeup on or anything you want to put on for the weekend, your cologne, whatever. Just rub it on and laugh and just laugh. Yes, I love the dog out there. What's the dog's name? Dr. Kogan, what's the dog's name?
Well, I'm a little ashamed to say he has the same name as me. So
Oh,
at home we call
very good, very
at
good.
home we call him shabu, like a shabu shabu,
Oh,
Japanese soup of mix of everything. That's what he is. He's a
I
mix,
love it.
and he likes to make growling noises, so you can enjoy it.
Let's growl back at the
Let's
dog.
growl at him.
Shout out. Let's growl back.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Say hello. That's a laughter right there. Animals can feel when we're laughing. Animals can feel when we're sad. So let's bring a little joy and cheerfulness to our shadow. Very good. Now we're going to drink a little hot soup. And, Julie, you were talking about, different foods that we're eating. So let's say we're going to have a little hot soup and we're going to laugh at this hot soup. It's so hot, we're going to laugh at it. So get your imaginations out, maybe your bowl, maybe your cup of soup, your spoon, and you're going to put it in, act like you're putting in some soup and, oh, it's hot. Come on, everybody. You're going to try to take it and take a sip and, oh, it's hot. I need to hear more mics on. Come on, you guys, turn those mics on. I want some mics on so I know that you are laughing with me and at me. Maybe so. I don't care because guess what? I do not take myself seriously. There's some people you meet them and they're so stuffy. And you're like, really? Let's laugh at them. They're taking themselves so serious. Oh.
You're funny. Okay.
Serious. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's hot. And you didn't go, oh. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Now, the holidays are coming up upon us. You may get invited to a cocktail party or not, but you're going to be laughing at the drinks. Maybe you're having a mocktail. So let's have a mocktail, everybody. It's only, 2 something in the afternoon. It's not a cocktail, it's a mocktail. So hold your mocktail and look at it and go, I'm having a mocktail in the afternoon. You're having a mocktail. I'm having a cocktail. Don't you tell Dr. Kogan. Let's drink some. This is so delicious. Not a mocktail, a cocktail, whatever it is. It's delicious.
It's delicious.
No sugar.
No sugar.
No sugar. What's sugar? Moderation, moderation, moderation. Now, we're going to do a little bit of it's holiday time and I'm not ready. Are you? Okay, you guys ready? It's holiday time. Are you ready? You go, no, I'm not.
Oh, no, I'm not.
I'm not.
But I'm getting there.
I'm getting there. That's right, Jeanette. I'm getting there.
Not ready.
Next week is what? Oh, did I prepare any food?
No.
You think I invited you over for dinner?
Oh.
We don't celebrate.
Girl, you're funny.
Are you bringing mac and cheese?
I don't think so.
Mashed potato?
No.
Green beans? Oh, stuffing? Oh. Are you bringing the bird, the turkey? Oh, I hate it.
I'll bring the wine. I'm bringing coconut cake.
Jenna, what are you bringing?
Coconut cake.
I'm bringing invisible vegetables.
No, that's
You must be bringing invisible guests too.
to leave. Oh, we gotta leave. Julie has to leave, but you know what, Julie? We're gonna laugh you out of here. Have a good weekend, Julie.
Have a good weekend, Julie.
Yes, thank you.
Come and laugh with us the next time.
I'm gonna bring the sweet potato pie.
Go for this coconut cake.
I want some of that coconut cake.
Well, just use your imagination and you can have an invisible piece right now.
Yes, let's do that, Lynette. Let's act like we have an invisible piece of that cake or that
Right
pie
now.
or what have you right now. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're slicing it.
Oh, that was so good.
Girl, this pie is raw. You're taking this raw food stuff too serious. Come on, guys, laugh. I've been laughing, and guess what? Already I can feel the endorphins being released. I feel much better. I'm not even thinking about what I was thinking about before this. It's just very, very important, everyone, to please bring laughter into your life. There are some things, 8 things I want to share with you before I get off. Please share something funny to your friends or family that happened to you maybe today or later on. Just share, just talk something, even in storytelling. Sharing something funny can make you feel good and cheerful inside, right? Maybe you don't want to do the laughter part. Maybe it's hard to laugh, but just bringing a smile and cheer. Yes. You may start collecting CDs and movies or things that make you laugh and try to bring more of that into this time of year. Sometimes people are isolated or lonely and may need a little bit of laughter. So bring into the movies into your life. Keep a humor journal. What is that? That means that you write down things that you see or notice that are funny, and you can write that down and come back to the journal later on to look at and smile. Keep photos around yourself or images around yourself to keep yourself amused. Keep props handy, like little things like this makes me smile. I don't know why, but it makes me smile. So just bring little things around you that makes you smile and keep you happy. Have a music list of fun, exciting music that makes you smile, things that really makes you smile. Lighten up your environment. Look around your room and your office, whatever, and say, does this bring joy to me? Does this make me remember about a time that was not very helpful or was not fun? Get rid of it. You don't need to have it, okay? And next thing is, I want you to recite this. There you go. I love it. Hold it up, Jenna. Let me see it. That is gorgeous. What is a little froggy? I love it. The red-eyed frog. And so I want everybody to recite this. I don't want to live my life crabby.
I don't want to live my life
crabby.
I'd rather be healthy and happy.
I'd rather be happy and healthy.
And happy.
I pledge I'll find more humor around me.
I pledge I will find humor around me every day.
Yes, and I'll make sure to be around fun people.
I'll make sure to be around fun people.
Yes, there you go. And take a chance on humor whenever I can and grab it.
And take a chance on humor whenever I can and grab it.
Yes. And so you guys have just done that pledge. And therefore, I want you to find more humor, laugh more often. Again, if you can't smile, just put the pen or something in your mouth to give you that fake smile, because even the body does not know a real smile from a fake smile. That's the beauty of laughter. So everyone, I wish you well, peace and blessings. I know I hit the time. And thank you for having me again.
And happy
Any questions?
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you. Yes, yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you for
Happy
coming.
Native American Heritage Month. Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Take
Alva.
care.
Thank you, Julie.
Bye.
We'll see everybody after Thanksgiving.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm gonna stay here as I promised for a couple of minutes, but I do have to leave at sharp at 3:15 because we have something going. And I managed to copy paste the protocol into the chat, and I also emailed it to Janet, so we'll make sure we get it to you.